Ready. Play.
And there's also the second quarter, which we haven't touched on yet. And let's maybe do what we have to do. So basically talk about this match, Maroszan against Fonseca. To be honest with you, after Estoril, I have some doubts. I mean, the Joao forehand was not firing the same way it was against Tommy Paul. Some people have suggested to me that maybe this is because, he didn't play any clay warm-ups before Madrid. And sure, it could be contributing, but in Madrid he was on it. Like, he has 2% more experience, and he beats Tommy Paul in straight sets. He had 2 set points each. And Estoril, I mean, he just wasn't as comfortable. He had issues adjusting for sure. Obviously, Jesper de Jong, he came up with the occasional serve and volleying, drop shots. Everything was executed perfectly to keep Joao from playing his game. But it still wasn't the kind of ball striking that I wanted to see. It wasn't impressive. Like, watching that match, I was like, yeah, sure, it's Joao Fonseca. I've seen this guy a billion times now, but I actually enjoyed him more last year when he lost to Choinski. That was, oh yeah, this guy's something. And this time I was just like, yeah, this isn't what I know he can play. And yeah, I just wonder how his slow clay performances are going to look from here. Obviously not like for the whole future, but apparently in the Portuguese section of the press conference, which you can also find on Talking Tennis, by the way, even though some Brazilians tend to get angry at that for whatever reason. But you can also find it, and basically he said that he does feel a lot more comfortable in hard courts at the moment, that he wasn't expecting a result like the Buenos Aires title. And we know that this was obviously a huge struggle as well for him in a few matches. So I guess my expectations are a little lower than they would have been otherwise. And considering the draw here, I guess if he beats Marozsan, he's already defeated Rublev. Rublev tends to struggle recently against players who out-hit him. Menchik is another player whom we don't really know how he's going to perform in conditions like this. So the draw as a whole, like this section that we're looking at, the 16 players, if this was Madrid, I would have been probably screaming, yeah, Fonseca can get through this, all of this. But in Rome, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the match that he played in Estoril. I just know it was pretty bad and he made a lot of errors and he underperformed. But was some of that also because of the the pressure to play the 175 because of maybe appearance fees, or just the fact that he was signed up and he lost early? Or was there also some physical issues before, something in training or something? I remember John posting about that when he was there, about some issues in some practice section, physical things.
Yeah, he talked about the shoulder, but I mean, John asked him about it, and he basically said it's not like a real injury. It's just, athlete's life, I think he called it. So I wouldn't really look at that too much, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, but the matchup against Maroszan is pretty tough right away. And yeah, maybe if that's still fresh in your mind, the Estoril performance, you're probably going to lower your expectations for Joao at this point.
Yeah, I do think that he is obviously very dangerous. It's possible he gets on the run. It's just not quite like Madrid, where you have to consider him as one of the players who can make a very massive impact there. He beats Paul, and he definitely makes it to that Draper fourth round, I believe, there. And then who knows what happens there. But yeah, nonetheless, here it's going to be a little bit more difficult at Roland Garros. But who knows? Maybe he'll just have a good training block and find something. Maybe it's really just a matter of that. Would like to hear which way Damien are leaning. I mean, this is just making us predict, which doesn't make much sense. I mean, is Fonseca the favorite? Yeah, but it's somewhat lukewarm. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he's probably a slighter favorite than he would have been if he beats Paul or he does better in Estoril. So he's a favorite, but only marginally, I think.
Yeah, marginally is maybe a stretch, but definitely not as much of a favorite as he was against Jesper, for example. That's maybe how I would put it. But yeah, also the opponent is pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. There are definitely better players he could have faced here, better in the sense that they would have been more pleasant for him to tackle. So yeah, if not Fonseca, if we look at this whole 16-player section, I guess it's very open, and that's kind of what's still making me think, it's possible that he can go far, because you've got Rublev, who since he started working with Marat Safin, we haven't really seen the best of him yet. We haven't seen that flourish, let's say. We've got Menchik, who did very well in Madrid, but his slow clay performances of late were tough, and I think he can get there with time. I think he already had great slow clay performances in the past, just not recently, and he's probably not going to be as deadly as he was there when he was really relying on that serve to be just insane. Hurkacz, who's been struggling. Fritz, who also just came back from an injury and probably loses to Bonzi in Madrid if the Frenchman doesn't get injured. So it looks very open to me.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.